July 1st, 2020 legislative session of the Penfield Town Board, and I'll officially call this meeting to order. In the auditorium tonight, we have Councilman Andy Moore, we have Town Clerk Amy Steckloff, and myself, and we have the rest of the Town Board zoomed in, Councilwoman Draw and Cole, as well as Councilman Ockenden. So here in the auditorium, we're going to lead everyone in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. At this time, I'll ask our clerk to call the official roll this evening.
Draw.
Here.
Cole.
Here.
LaFountain.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Ockenden.
Here.
Thank you very much. My next order of business is to read our official notice, if I may. Due to the COVID-19 virus and the closing of the town operations consistent with the governor's executive orders, the July 1st, 2020 Town Board legislative meeting is being held remotely via Zoom. This meeting is also being video recorded and broadcast live via the town's website at www.penfield.org, on the town's government access cable channel 1303, and on streaming media device Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. For those apps, search Penfield TV in your app store, and this app is in fact free. This meeting will later be transcribed. Questions regarding video coverage may be directed to Penfield TV at 340-8661. And if you'd like to address the board on any matter tonight, there are two public participation opportunities, one in the beginning of the agenda and one at the end of the agenda. You can participate by dialing in at 340-8771 or by electronic submission at penfield.org. So with that, we'll move on to our communications and announcements section. And I'll ask our clerk and board members first if they have anything they would like to mention this evening. I'll start with Town Clerk Amy Steckloff.
I'm all set tonight.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll next move to Councilwoman Draw.
I'm all set, Mr. Supervisor. Thank you.
Thank you. Next to Councilman Ockenden.
All set, Mr. Supervisor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Councilman Moore.
No announcements tonight. Thank you.
And Councilwoman Cole.
No announcements.
Okay, I have just one that I'd like to mention. Very, very excited about this. So I'm going to read a couple of paragraphs from this press release. So while the 4th of July celebration is largely being put on hold this year due to COVID-19 outbreak, the Monroe County Supervisors Association announced yesterday a joint effort to provide some familiar Independence Day entertainment. The group is sponsoring performance by the Sky Coasters, which will air on WXXI on the evening of July 4th. The association, which is comprised of every town in Monroe County, banded together to sponsor and produce this performance. A mainstay at the local 4th of July celebrations and one of the region's most well-known performing acts, the Sky Coasters, pre-taped a show at the former Water Street Music Hall in downtown Rochester earlier in June. This concert will air Saturday, July 4th at 6 p.m. at XXI TV, channel 21.3, and on cable 1276. Rochester's public broadcast service member television stations. It'll also be broadcast on the Town of Penfield streaming apps that we discussed earlier, Roku, Amazon TV, Apple, and as well as the Town of Arundecoit's Facebook page. I'd like to recognize the production teams of Penfield and Arundecoit that led this effort. Dave Renner and his team, Nate Stone and his team from Arundecoit that did such a great job. I will tell you, this is very, very impressive. The Supervisors Association are delighted to make this happen, and at least help the spirit of the 4th of July celebration coming up. So please tune in 6 p.m. on Saturday the 4th. At this time, I'll ask if there is any public participation, and I'll give that a moment to see if we receive any calls or emails. And while I'm doing that, I'll mention one other item. Dave Renner and his team, Ryan, Brian, Amy, and Dave, they have put together, similar to what we did for Memorial Day, they have put together some information on our past 4th of July activities to include music, parades, fireworks, and the like. That will start to show on Friday evening and will show throughout the weekend as a way, again, to help celebrate 4th of July. And special thanks to PCTV team for putting that together. Seeing we do have Ed Lindskog is on hold and would like to address the town board at this time. And Ed is at Willow Pond Legacy. And Ed, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Great. Welcome, Ed, and happy holiday.
Happy holidays to you people.
Thank you very much. Ed, what's going on?
Well, I know you had a meeting over here with DeMarzo and the town, because I saw Jim Costello over here. They did a walkthrough on the lot number 25 behind us here, and I was curious as to an update on the sidewalk system for the Willow Pond Legacy here, and what's going to happen with the drainage and all that kind of stuff that they started 6 months ago, and then it's kind of just been sitting here since. Can you enlighten me on anything?
I do know that all of the parties met, which was a combination of Watermark, Mark IV, and Jim Costello. I think there was some other representatives from the town. They did meet, and as I understand it, they're working on an action plan, Ed. That's all I can give you just based on the conversation that I had briefly with Jim Costello the end of last week. We can reach out to you, and we do have your number. I won't say it over the air, but we do have your number here. And I'll ask Jim Costello if he wouldn't mind giving you a call tomorrow to kind of update you on that walkthrough that took place last week.
Certainly would appreciate that. The neighbors are getting restless, too.
Okay. Everybody's had enough of COVID-19 and want a little bit of
Right.
fresh air and get out and socially distance and masked. So I will ask.
We just started doing exercise classes here, but we need to do more walking, too.
Sounds good. I'll ask Jim to give you a call. What's the best time tomorrow, Ed? Morning, afternoon, or doesn't it matter?
Doesn't make any difference to me. I'm here all day.
You got it, sir. All right. I'll have Jim give you a call sometime tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Good to chat with you, Ed, and my best for a happy 4th of July Independence Day celebration.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. I do not see anyone else on the line, and let me toggle to make sure we have no emails that have come in. So we do have the second opportunity to address the board on any matter at the end of the agenda. And with that, we'll move on to additions and deletions. Does the board have any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda?
No, sir, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay, seeing none, we do have the minutes of June 3rd, 2020 before us, and would entertain a motion of approval for those minutes.
I move that the minutes of June 3rd be approved.
I'll second that, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you very much. It was moved by Councilwoman Cole, second by Councilwoman Draw. I'll ask the board any discussion on those minutes. Seeing none, I'll ask our clerk to please call the roll of approval for those minutes.
Draw,
Yes.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you, board. I'll ask the board, our town attorney, and our town clerk, since our last meeting, Has anyone received a petition that they would like to mention this evening?
I have not.
Okay. Seeing none, then we'll move on to resolutions by function. We'll begin with Law and Finance.
Granting a conditional use permit to allow an esthetician salon at 1738 Penfield Road.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas an application has been received by the Penfield Town Board for the issuance of a conditional use permit pursuant to Chapter 250-5.11D4 of the Code to allow an esthetician salon in the existing garage at 1738 Penfield Road. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Penfield held a public hearing at the Town Hall on June 17, 2020 at 7 p.m. to consider the application. Now therefore be it resolved that the applicant's request for a conditional use permit in the existing garage at 1738 Penfield Road in the Four Corners zoning district is hereby granted, subject to the following conditions. For the record, Mr. Supervisor, there are roughly 8 conditions. All 8 conditions are consistent with what we've seen in the past with this type of an application for the Four Corners zoning district. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. I'll ask the board any discussion on this resolution. Seeing no further discussion, I'll ask for a roll call vote of approval, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Setting a public hearing to consider incentive zoning, the issuance of a special use permit, an environmental protection overlay permit, and preliminary and final site plan approval to allow a 60-unit apartment building at 1211 Empire Boulevard and a portion of 41 Woodhaven Drive.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas an application has been received by the Penfield Town Board to consider the application for incentive zoning and the issuance of a special use permit, an environmental protection overlay permit, and preliminary and final site plan approval pursuant to 2500-5.9-B1B of the code to allow for the development of a 60-unit apartment building with associated parking and stormwater management facilities at 1211 Empire Boulevard and portions of 41 Woodhaven Drive in the LaSalle Landing Development Zoning District, R120 zoning districts. Be it resolved, and now therefore be, that the Town Board of the Town of Penfield shall hold a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall on August 5th, 2020 at 7 p.m. on said date to consider said application and to hear all persons interested in the question of the incentive zoning and the issuance of a special use permit. Be it resolved that this resolution, certified by the town clerk, shall be published in the official town newspaper, the first publication therefore not to be less than 10 nor more than 20 days before said hearing as aforesaid. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion. Okay, so seeing no further discussion, I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Setting a public hearing to consider a conditional use permit to allow live music in the outdoor dining area at South Bay Bar and Grill at 1300 Empire Boulevard.
Moved. Second. Whereas an application has been received by the Penfield Town Board for the issuance of a conditional use permit pursuant to Chapter 250-5.9.B-1 of the Code to allow live music in the outdoor dining area of South Bay Bar and Grill at 1300 Empire Boulevard. Now be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Penfield shall hold a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall on August 5th, 2020 at 7 p.m. on said date to consider said application and to hear all persons interested in the issuance of this conditional use permit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Further discussion on this resolution? Okay, seeing no further discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Naming of a survey consultant to the town of Penfield.
So moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that BME Associates in 10 Liftbridge Lane in East in Fairport, New York, be named a survey consultant for the town of Penfield. And be it further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to sign a contract with BME Associates as outlined in its letter on file with the town clerk, which includes a schedule of fees for various services provided by BME Associates as a surveying consultant to the town of Penfield for 2020 and 2021. And be it further resolved that the town board reserves the option to assign specific projects to internal staff and to other qualified surveying firms in addition to BME Associates as necessary to represent the town. Such other qualified firms will be compensated for the business referred to them during the 2020 and 2021 at an agreed upon fee depending on the nature of the services performed.
Thank you, Councilwoman Draw. Any further discussion on this resolution? Seeing no further discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization to maintain properties and assess the charges to the 2020 property tax bills.
So moved.
Second.
Whereas on December 16th, 2015, the Town Board of the Town of Penfield adopted a resolution to enact Local Law Number 3 of 2015 entitled "A Local Law to Provide for the Codification of the Local Laws, Ordinances, and Certain Resolutions of the Town of Penfield into Municipal Code to be designated the Code of the Town of Penfield." And whereas the purpose of the Code of the Town of Penfield includes, among other things, to provide for the safety, health protection, and general welfare of persons and property in the Town of Penfield by requiring the maintenance of all such properties within the town. And whereas the property owners of 36 Squire Circle, SBL number 124.11-2-45, 23 Hawks Trail, SBL number 094.17-2-11, and 124 Beacon Hills Drive South, SBL number 109.05-2-48, have failed to maintain the subject properties in accordance with the applicable code requirements, which is resulting in concerns for the safety, health protection, and general welfare of surrounding persons and properties. And whereas the town staff has continually requested the maintenance of the subject properties by the owners thereof with no result. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Penfield, the Town Board of the Town of Penfield hereby authorizes the Building Code Compliance Inspector to have the properties appropriately maintained, and be it further resolved that the Town Board further authorizes that the cost of said maintenance and any necessary subsequent maintenance during the 2020 season also be charged to the 2021 property tax bill for the subject properties.
Thank you, Mr. Ockenden. Further discussion by the board? All right, seeing no further discussion, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign recreation contracts.
So moved.
Second.
This resolution authorizes the town supervisor to sign 2 recreation contracts, and they're dealing with summer programming.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cole. Further discussion on this particular resolution? Seeing no further discussion, I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you. This brings us to our next item, which is old business. Is there any old business to come before the board this evening? I'll ask, is there any new business to come before the board this evening? Seeing none, this is our second opportunity for public participation. You can do that by emailing penfield.org. You can call in at 340-8771. And I'll just toggle here and give a minute to see if we have any calls or any emails. Again, I'm going to give one more reminder for this coming Saturday for the 4th of July, starting at 6 p.m. Tune in to WXXI TV, channel 21.3 and cable 1276, the Rochester Public Broadcast Service member television station, or Penfield streaming video and also Town of Arundecoit's face page to take in a great concert by the Sky Coaster. I think everyone will enjoy that. If you've got other family activities, I'll ask that you at least record it and play it later because I think you'll find the Sky Coasters did a great job. Seeing no calls coming in or emails coming in, and there being no further business to come before the board this evening, the July 1st, 2020 legislative session of the board will stand adjourned at 7:21 p.m. I want to thank everyone that participated. Ed Lindskog, if you're still listening, get all of your friends at Penfield or Willow Pond Legacy to tune in and listen to Sky Coasters, and also watch the montage that we put together for the 4th of July celebration by our Penfield TV team that I think you'll find very enjoyable. Be well, be safe, happy Independence Day, and enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, and of course, be safe. Thank you.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.